Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus. Here I am again. Something hit me, says go and talk to the people about this. So I want to ask you, what if you were God? What kind of God would you be? If you were God, what kind of God would you be? Now, when I ask that question, I want you to consider this. You are God who made all of the people on the earth. You're that creator. You're the one that's responsible for every different shade, every different eye shape, every different hair texture, every different height, width. You are the one that's responsible for the various genders. You are responsible for the requirements that they have to survive on this earth. What kind of God would you be? Would you be a God that has some compassion for some and no compassion or less for others? Is that the kind of God you would be? I mean, this is just something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Would you be the kind of God that would take certain of your children and fix them in a situation that you have allowed others to exploit to the extent that you can say we have haves and they got trillionaires, multi-trillionaires, billionaires, etc., etc. And you got people who are sleeping in streets, in alleys. I mean, would you be the kind of God that says, great work? Would you be the kind of God that kids grow up, have dreams and aspirations, but they want to further their education so that they could be better at whatever it is they've been given to do? And you would say that, no, you can't do that because you don't have any money, so you got to go do something else that's not worthwhile, really, but we need you. Would you be that kind of God? Would you be the kind of God that would say a whole shade of people, after you have created them and they've existed throughout eternity, would you wake up one day and say you made a mistake, they should not exist, and direct another shade of them to go over there and bring a battle to destroy them? Would you do that? Would you be the kind of God that would want to do something for one group of your people, that you would get another group to go over and rob and steal and take from someone else to give to a different group? Would you be that kind of God? Wow. Well, I know, I can feel that some of you who are listening to me are saying that you wouldn't be that kind of God. But I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I have to take issue with that because that's the only kind of God we have. That's the only kind of God that operates on this earth. And it operates by our okaying it. Now, we might not be informed, we might not know better, and obviously we don't know better. And we are put in that position so you can be vulnerable just like you are. But that invisible power, that true parent, every now and then does a favor to someone like me, someone who's throwing their life away. And at that moment when it's supposed to be gone, a miracle occurs and keeps that life. But recognize it through that act, and that act alone, that you say allegiance to the flag, You might sing the Star Spangled Banner, but I say allegiance to that invisible power that is made and given evidence that it is what it is. And a flag or bombs bursting in there don't even come close. And so it is my duty, it is my responsibility to come before you and say to you, you've been had. You've been had to the degree that there are some of you who you think are the absolute worst, and they should be in hell. And a lot of people would say Donald Trump. And there are those of you who think you got it so together that you're riding on the cloud right next door to heaven. And you just waiting to kill over so you can just turn over in heaven. Well, the Spirit, that individual, universal God says that one which is riding the cloud, ready to turn over into heaven. Well, the Spirit says that one is as far away from heaven as the one that stands up claiming to be the biggest evil that can exist. In other words, you're one and the same. You empower one another. To be with the power of creation, you got to be perfect. Now, somebody say, I don't know what, well, don't worry about it. You just be perfect. Now, what does that mean? That means, in relationship to what we're talking about now, is that we one unto another. Our living on this earth is determined by our maturity. We've been living on this earth for quite some time. You heard of the story about the mules and the horses and the buggies and the wagons. And when you compare today with that, you think we've come someplace. We haven't, ladies and gentlemen. We've been stuck in time, just like those buggies were. We've been stuck in time, not able to grow because of all that weight that's holding us back. You see, there is no, for growth and maturity and love, and there's no room for hate. There's no reason for skinheads hating black people and people of color and Jews. The only reason that stuff happens is because of what they were taught. You messed over people. They benefited from it. When others resisted and they could not benefit from it any longer for one reason or another, they blamed the others for their shortcomings now, never knowing the truth. The truth. Listen, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Never knowing the truth. You were made to live on this earth as in heaven, if you can keep it. Now, there is always going to be someone that's going to try to mess your game. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are a woman, and you are what they call a beautiful woman. Let's say you got a commitment to someone else, and there are others that's going to see you, and they're going to see you much more beautiful than you really are. At least that's what they're going to try to get you to believe. And they're going to come at you from all kinds of places. And that's exactly what a woman wants to hear. Now, here's what's happening. What's going to keep that woman faithful to perhaps something that she has been committed to, or just be a free flower? And vice versa. A guy that's handsome, got a girl, go out and all other ladies see him and they go, wow, ooh, he's so hot. I mean, and they just come at him, and now based upon the way things are in this world, men go crazy about some stuff like that, just like women do. And what's going to keep him committed and not do this. Well, see, that's the way it is in the society. There's one way to keep cancer out of your body. Don't be dealing with those things that will cause cancer. Leave it alone. So in the society, when we have poverty existing, that's because we're dealing with something we shouldn't. What we're trying to do, we're trying to prove that somebody else is better than someone else rather than working together as you're supposed to. Everyone doing its thing. Everyone doing their thing. Everyone got like a fingerprint. Those, man, I didn't really want to. I'll talk to you some other time. Thank you so very much for this. Eddie Marcus say goodbye.